The Pāti Māori has a problem, and his name is Tākata Wheres. If you're not aware, he's a Te Pāti Māori MP who has a bit of a reputation for just spewing garbage out of his mouth, being a racist guy, and just has no regard really for anything to do with our parliament, due process, speaking like a reasonable person would. And he often takes to TikTok, just continuing to double down on some of the views that he's in hot water for, and the recent last week or so has been no different. Now, Whangarei Tim, who's often sharing a lot of these clips out of Parliament and from other individuals within Parliament, such as Tākata Wheres, he's posted one of Tākata's more recent little TikTok or Instagram reels to YouTube, and so we're going to take a look at that together, and I'll react along the way.
Kia ora te iwi. Welcome back to this debrief. Okay, this video is to address all of the drama that was fluffed up recently in the media about a social media post that I made.
Look at him, he's very, very proud of himself, isn't he? You can tell he does not give a he does not have a care in the world. It's just this underlying arrogance that he has, and he doesn't even hide it. He's just a very arrogant person. And yeah, he doesn't think he's done anything wrong here, and wow.
And it was called racist and all sorts of things. It was called undemocratic in the House today by that idiot who was running the country for a day, or Seymour. So I'm gonna address it, and I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna talk to you about what is going on in there. Okay, now the post was a picture for Penny's campaign. Probably Willie Jackson or someone put it up. And it had in it members of the black community, the Indian community, the Asian community, and the Pākehā community, all campaigning for Penny. Now, when I saw it, I'm just like, man, this thing just blows my mind. And that's what my post said. This just blows my mind, that they've got all these ethnic people in this post campaigning in a by-election for a Māori seat. So you got all these other ethnicities campaigning for Labour to take a Māori seat from the Māori people. And straight up e te iwi, that should be unacceptable to us. Okay?
And this is his problem, right? Because Pene Henare is not the right type of Māori, they're campaigning against Māori. That's it. See, this is coming from the party who thinks that Tauiwi should fall in line and help support Māori, but as soon as Tauiwi, as they like to put it, come out and support Māori that aren't the right kind of Māori, it's suddenly a problem. Because they have to hold the right views, they have to elect the right people, otherwise it is no deal. That's how Te Pāti Māori views it. And so when I say that Te Pāti Māori has a Tākata Wheres problem, it's really a Te Pāti Māori problem, but he just exemplifies everything that's wrong with Te Pāti Māori so well.
And I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. And so people have sort of framed it up as racist, and this guy's undemocratic, and, just like completely twisted, right? But the Māori seats are for Māori voices only. Okay, they're for the Māori people to decide. And then I heard Willie Jackson in the news talking about how just unacceptable that was from Tākata, and should know better, and we care about everyone in the Labour Party. Well, guess what, Willie? I don't give a crap who you care about or what you care about. In the Māori seats, it's about the Māori people, Māori only.
And that's the problem. Māori only. And he wants to hit home the whole Māori only. We only care about Māori, because that is ultimately what Te Pāti Māori care about. Māori and Māori alone. They don't care about anyone else. They want to participate in our parliament, not to actually contribute value to society and better Māori people. They want to contribute to our parliament in a way which is destructive. They want to tear down our parliament. They want to undermine the structure in which it is founded on. They want to utilize colonial systems to tear it apart and replace it with their own ethno-nationalist garbage. They want to manipulate the masses in order to obtain more power and strip it away from the so-called oppressors.
And here's what that post is doing. It's homogenizing Māori as a minority. Okay? And they're doing it in plain daylight. This is why I say it blows my mind. They're homogenizing Māori, whilst we are fighting for a Māori seat. Okay, homogenizing means you're making Māori appear as just another one of these ethnic groups in the Māori seat.
You see, it's because Māori are superior. That's what he's getting at. You can't be homogenous when one group is superior, because that group needs to be presented as superior. They can't be looked at as equals to, Asians and others. They need to be superior. Otherwise, again, no deal.
That should blow your mind, because it's completely unacceptable, and we need to get to a level where we recognize it as unacceptable, and we're happy to say it's unacceptable. And, everyone got a little bit tense about the language, right? The language. So I'm going to address that too, because there's a lot going on in languages. Okay, but just at the very, not the surface level, but at like your initial reaction to that is discomfort. And I'm telling you, the reason it's uncomfortable is because that post is erasing Māori. And we've got to lose.
They're campaigning for a Māori candidate, and that post is therefore erasing Māori because he's not the right kind of Māori. Gotcha.
To be able to spot these things and call them out. Okay, so that's erasing Māori. Now, the reason everyone got their knickers in a twist about it is because of the language it was delivered in. It was delivered in Te Reo Pākehā. And so let me just quickly say this. If I had have made that post in Te Reo Māori and said, tiro whānau, anei te reipa, whakamahi ana I te iniana, I te ahia, I te mangu, me te iwi Pākehā, hei tango I te turu Māori, mai te ringaringa o te Māori. No one would have had a problem with that.
Because most people wouldn't know what you said.
It's the exact same thing. And here's why people get upset about it. Okay, and it has to do with the language. The English language struggles to identify other iwi, people's races. They don't like it. The English language doesn't like it. And the reason that they don't like it is because there's a lot of colonial violence attached to it. Okay, the hangover from the periods of colonial violence where the English and the English language have actively oppressed the Mangu people, the Ahia people, the Iniana people. Okay, the English language has been the oppressor of those people. And so in today's day and age, the English language always shies away from identifying those people. And so they just refer to them as ethnic minorities. Hey, that's what they do, and that's why they do it. And that's why saying it in Māori, no problem. There's no historical hangover in Te Reo Māori to name an iwi. Okay, but in English, that's what's going on. And it all has to do with their colonial history of oppression of other peoples. So, because I said it in English, everyone gets upset. And then the vultures in the game swoop in and make a big storm out of it because they want to get some points, right? But didn't really work. And man, we had so many messages of people saying, well, what you said was right. Yes, that's correct. Oh, we shouldn't be so shy to say that. No, tuturu. Okay, so the additional pieces, we have to would not be shy to say it, whānau. Okay, but we also need to know why it's tough to say it in English. And all of that colonial legacy of violence, the hangover of colonial oppression of other peoples, and their reluctance to identify those people in their language in this day and age, that's where it comes from. All right, so they're trying to make us vanish. They're trying to make us disappear into just a small minority in our own country, whilst we fight for the damn seats that are there for us, expressly for us. And they're there for us because the Pākehās at the time and currently know that Māoris have unique rights.
Unique rights? Well, that's not true at all. They don't have unique rights. That's just something you made up because you're trying to justify a difference of rights. You're trying to justify giving preferential treatment to one group of people at the expense of others because you are a ethno-nationalist, you are a Māori supremacist, if I dare say that. And that's what you're advocating for. You're advocating for a different set of rights and duties under law, which explicitly breaches Te Tiriti o Waitangi, by the way. So no, it's got nothing to do with having special rights or unique rights. It is about you pushing a nonsensical agenda in order to gain more power and rights for one group of people at the expense of others. In other words, you're just plainly a racist.
As opposed to everyone else. And that's plain as day. It's simple to understand. It's in the treaty. It's what the whole thing is about. And as long as they have the ability to deny it, we keep caught up in this little circular dance. So, there we go, whānau. Now you know what it is. If you see it, point it out. If they kick up a fuss about it, just say, well, that's the colonial legacy of oppression of your language. I don't have it. I can see it in Māori. No sweat. Make them uncomfortable, whānau. It's not our problem to fix. It's theirs. Okay.
Now, here's the actual social media post in question. You may not take any issue with the language. The language isn't that big of a deal to me, but I felt like his need to point out that there are Indians, Asians, blacks and Pākehās, campaigning against Māori was just him illustrating. The issue wasn't that he used those words like he's trying to portray, like, oh yeah, the only reason you guys took issue with is because English is inherently like that because, their colonial past and all that other nonsense. No, the reason why people took issue with it is why he said it. He said it because he has a racial superiority belief. That's why people took issue with it, and they know it because his rhetoric and the rhetoric of his party is consistent with the belief that Māori are superior and that other groups are not worthy of the same rights as he just himself expressed. That is why people took issue with it. It's absolutely nothing to do with the language you said it in. The only reason, hypothetically, no one would take issue with you saying it in another language is because the people that would complain don't understand what you're saying. So I want to touch back on the ultimate issue here. The issue isn't that you made a social media post criticizing certain groups of people. The issue is why you're criticizing them. You're criticizing them because you view yourself as a superior individual, as a superior race, a superior ethnicity, someone who is above all of these other ethnic minorities and above the ethnic majority in this case. You view yourself as superior. You advocate for policy which illustrates that you believe that. You advocate for policy which breaches the treaty. You advocate for policy which treats others as lesser than you. That is why people take issue with this social media post. And there's no amount of gaslighting and spinning of the narrative that you can do to change that.